Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I just want to do a little story time. And I feel like I should tell this. I just want to do a story time about like how I first knew for sure that like heaven is real. And I always believed that heaven was real. And of course I believe that God, Jesus is real. But like this story, this experience definitely solidified it for me, like no doubt. So basically, before my godmom passed away, she would be in and out of the hospital for different things, like just for different health things. And this one time she had to go to the hospital, and if I remember correctly, I think she was getting a peacemaker, or whatever. Basically, they had to stop her heart, and they had to like input this thing onto her heart because basically it would help for her heart to continuously to beat or whatever. So, but anyway, yeah, she had to, they had to put her out. Basically, they had to stop her heart and do that surgery or whatever and put that thing in her. And basically, after everything happened, my godmom was telling my parents this story, and then, my parents told me about what happened. But basically, when her heart stopped and everything, she saw heaven, and she was describing how it looked like, basically like, how it looked. Basically, it looked similar to Earth, except for like heaven was way better. Like the roads were made of gold and everything. People were singing. It was just so beautiful and peaceful. And yeah, like it looked similar to Earth, but of course it was just different though. At the same time, it was different. And I think she did see trees and stuff. But yeah, and when she was in heaven, she saw her dad, who had passed away years ago. And I think she saw another family member. I don't remember, but I know she saw her dad. And her dad, they was talking, and she was just basically telling her dad, she doesn't want to leave or whatever, something like that. Basically her dad was telling her, it's not your time or something like that. And mind you, like my godmom is in heaven. Her heart stopped, and she's thinking about not wanting to come back. Like, mind you, like she would be leaving a lot of loved ones, a lot of family, and she would also be leaving behind her only child. And it's crazy because that's how crazy heaven is. Like, anybody, I feel like this will happen to anybody. It doesn't matter. Like, you could be rich, like, and money don't matter, but you can have a lot of loved ones down here, a lot of friends and family. But if you were to reach heaven, you just forget all about that, and you just want to stay there. You don't want to come back because heaven is better, obviously. But anyway, yeah, like, she didn't want to leave heaven. She wanted to stay, but it wasn't her time yet. But while she was in heaven, she also saw this little girl. And I think she was talking to this little girl. She said, "Hey," or something like that. Like, the little girl came up to her or something like that. And then the little girl told her, like, "Oh, can you tell my mommy I said hi," or something like that. And then that's when my godmom was like, "Oh, who's your mom?" And then that's when the little girl said, "The nurse." The nurse. Mind you, y'all, mind you, You know, of course, like my godmom had a nurse, and, you know, other people. But yeah, like the nurse, you may think, oh, like maybe it would have been obvious she was pregnant, maybe she was showing. No. The nurse was pregnant, but she was in like the very early stages of pregnancy where you're not showing. Like, I don't even think her coworkers even knew she was pregnant, if I remember correctly. So like, yeah, like the only way you would have known if she was pregnant is if she like told you, you know? Um, and mind you, you know, not only was she not showing pregnancy, it was very early. Also, when it's very early, you don't know the sex of the baby yet. But because the baby was in heaven waiting to come down, and you know, my godmom went to heaven, that's of course how she was able to know. But anyway, so my godmom, you know, it was time for her to leave. She didn't want to, of course, because who would want to leave heaven? But it's still crazy to wrap around, because it's like, dang, like my godmom really was like wanting to leave her family, and she was wanting to leave her only child. Like, imagine you being the only child and like your mom, you don't have no siblings or whatever, and your mom is gone. Yeah, but anyway, when my godmom recovered or whatever, and like the surgery was over and her heart was beating and everything, she woke up. I think, yeah, that's when she turned over to the nurse, or when the nurse came in the room or something like that. She was saying, oh, and your daughter wanted me to tell you that she said, hey, hi. And then when my godmom told the nurse that, the nurse, like, I believe broke down in tears and everything, because it's like, you don't know me. I'm basically a stranger. You know, you're my patient. I've never told you this information, yet somehow you know that I'm pregnant when I'm the only one that basically knows that I'm pregnant. And I'm showing very early signs. Like, obviously that's nothing but God, obviously. But yeah, that's basically the story. And of course, because my godmom had health complications, you know, she was like in and out of the hospital multiple times. And like she went to and after that incident, she went to the hospital again for, I think, the same thing or something else. And I think they had to stop her heart again or something like that. And she was hoping that she would be able to see heaven again, but she didn't. Basically, it felt like she just went to sleep. So, you know, basically when she woke up or whatever, it was like she just went to sleep, like she didn't see heaven that time. But I bring that up just to show importance that, like, if you're watching this video, don't think, oh, let me try and like put myself in a crazy situation that would cause me to have to go to the hospital and like be on the brink of death. Like, no. I brought that little thing up just to say, like, no, just because like you might get your heart stopped doesn't mean you have a possibility of seeing heaven, you know? Obviously, like, my godmom saw heaven because like God wanted her to see that, you know? And I'm sure God also like used Mama Lisa to like pass along, you know, about the nurse situation. Like, who knows? Like, I don't really know. I don't know if the nurse believed in God or not, but you know, if I was in if I was in the nurse's shoes and I didn't believe in God, and then somebody just told me that, oh, that would definitely like shake things up for me. But yeah, like, I just wanted to bring that up because, like, you know, heaven is a special thing. Like, you know, a lot of people can be in the hospital on the brink of death, but that doesn't mean everyone's gonna get a chance to like see heaven. Like, if they come back, it might just feel like, oh, they went to sleep, you know. But of course, like, if you're gone for good, you know, and you're not coming back to Earth, then of course, like, then there's a possibility you could see heaven or whatever, because, you know, you're not coming back to Earth, you know, your life is done. But, yeah, but yeah, after that, like I said, when she had to go to the hospital again, she didn't have that same experience, and she was hoping that she would. And then, you know, my godmom went to the hospital another time, I think, and yeah, and then, my godmom was like, didn't come back and was gone for good. But it's still like, sometimes thinking about it, it still like makes me sad sometimes. But it's crazy because, like, you know, she was my godmom, and it's like, I just can't imagine when like my actual mom is gone. But yeah, I just wanted to tell that story, because like I feel like it'll help somebody, you know, if they're wondering if like heaven is real. It's definitely real. And yeah, but this was just a little story time, y'all. But I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye, guys.